Steven Espinoza says that he doesn't fault Jaron Ennis for the Virgil Ortiz fight falling apart. He says that it's not his fault. If you go ahead and read this article to figure out why he says what he says, there is no logical reason behind what he said. He doesn't come up with a proper excuse or a reason to mount why he stands in defense of Jaron Ennis. I have a theory, though. But one thing's for sure, when it comes to Steven Espinoza, you can't trust nothing that comes out of his mouth. Now, if you ask me, if anything, and plus he talks about Jaron Ennis choosing to go elsewhere because he was concerned with the state of PBC and if they can keep him busy going forward. If you ask me, this is my theory. I think Jaron Ennis and his team is probably used to operating how they operate over there at PBC, and that's basically ducking the smoke. It's no secret because, once again, there's patterns to everything. And when it comes to Steven Espinoza and PBC and the fights that we haven't seen, let me tell you, well, how about this? Let me see if you can catch the pattern that I'm talking about. Just take a look at these clips right here.
There were preliminary discussions about the Shakur fight, early on, like back early, for 2024 before this was scheduled. Didn't get very far for reasons I won't go into.
Did Errol Spence enact the rematch clause, and is it true that it's up to Terrence Crawford what weight class the rematch happens?
He did, Errol did exercise the rematch clause. It's not quite that simple.
Bud wanted to fight Boots and that he reached out. Were those talks ever really tangible?
I saw some stuff about people talking about, some discussions with BLK Prime. I wouldn't characterize that as discussion. There was a discussion. It's not just saying, hey, I don't want to fight it this way, so I want to fight this way. I mean, the idea is no one's going to, you can't use the weight class to avoid it. But the reality is, they don't have a deal with Crawford. If Crawford's under contract to BLK Prime, then maybe it goes through that. But the reality is, they're trying to put together a fight just like we're trying to put together a fight. So, the reality is if you are actually going to, be at 54 for the foreseeable future, then that's a good excuse. If we're going to stay, at 47, that's fine. But don't say you can't do the rematch because you're at 47. So the reality is, it was a very short conversation. They didn't really bring much to the table in terms of helping make the deal. So there really was no point in following up on that.
Is that like kind of black and white on paper, or is it one of those? I'm
sort of paraphrasing. It's not, it worked. There's a little bit more formality to it. But
come on.
I just think there were, I'm not sure that the time was right.
That is to show you that at any and all time, when it comes to big fights getting made, this guy always got an excuse why PBC couldn't pull through and give you the fights that they want. Okay, every single time. So whatever comes out of his mouth, you can't believe it at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? You simply can't. But if anything, they have trained his team to react to challenges and stuff like that, how they're used to dealing with it over there at the PBC, because they love spinning narratives and dodging these big fights that they say that are big, but as soon as we get close to making them, then people don't offer anything and people want too much, and they wasn't really talking about nothing and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's a constant theme over there of not getting you what you want. Hence, are you surprised the way Tank moves the way he moves? You know what I'm saying? With people on the team like that and people like Espinoza, are you really surprised the way some of these people are moving after doing business with them? You know what I'm saying? You really can't, and it's a shame because Jaron and his team didn't jump out in front of this the right way. But that's because their attitude about going forward with his career has been all wrong. That's why I say Jaron Ennis has been built wrong. But now I'm starting to think he was built wrong on purpose because there was never no true intent, for him to rise to the level that they were promoting him as. That's the only thing that I can come up with, because for the longest we asked, why do we have 30-something fights and no real names? You know what I'm saying? And how come when it comes to fighters calling him out, Conor Benn, Blair, Cobbs, he goes silent? Yet he struggles finding fights. It makes no sense. Who wouldn't want to break ground over there in the UK with a fight for Conor Benn? That'll be big for him. Just like the fight in Philly. You know what I'm saying? Who's the king of Philly? Blair or Jaron Boots Ennis would have been another big high-profile career-building fight. Like I said, Blair would have did all the work for you. You wouldn't have to promote. You know what I'm saying? He's a promoting machine. You know what I'm saying? They know that. So why wouldn't they use that easy one-up? Blair Cobbs is supposed to be an easy one-up. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be the workhorse of their promotional company. You know what I'm saying? He's going to make it hype. You're going to be able to do it in Philly, and you should be able to have a good showing. Based off that alone will raise your profile, especially if you go in there and dispatching him like you're supposed to. So why wouldn't they take that route? Why wouldn't you want to get some love over there in the UK? They love boxing over there. They'll love somebody like Jeron if Jeron is what people say that he is. So why wouldn't you do it at the end of the day? If you ask me, he's just used to operating how they were doing things over there at PBC. In the real boxing world, that doesn't fly. You know what I'm saying? Now, he has nothing but pressure on him. But he gets what he wants. Because now, all the attention is on Jeron. It doesn't matter if Jeron fights a soup can. All eyes is going to be glued to him. And this is the problem. He can't struggle. He can't fumble. He can't appear to have no kind of hard times because everybody's eyes is going to be peeled with ready to fire criticism at him 100 miles an hour due to this situation, which will put him in the same mental position as the Karen Kukashan fight, feeling a pressure of needing to do better and needing to get a knockout. You know what I'm saying? So his next fight, mentally, he'll be right back mentally in a Karen Kukashan situation. Because if he struggles, if he gets hit too much, if he can't knock the guy out, if he can't get him out of there in under 6 rounds, you know what they're going to say? The same thing they're saying now, but worse. You know what I'm saying? They really set themselves up in a bad place. Now they're in between a rock and a hard place. Now you're literally going to have to show that you are what you say that you are. And I don't think Jeron can do it. But the only good thing out of this is now you got everybody's attention. Everybody's eyes going to be peeled for your next fight. Not only are they going to criticize who he fights next, but how he fights him. They put a world load of pressure on Jeron that he didn't deserve. You know what I'm saying? He has entirely too much pressure on him now. And that's only because he was going about building his career the wrong way. The email champ, the using of Errol Spence fans and stuff like that, and then using Terrence Crawford name. Now he done painted himself into a corner and ain't nothing that he can do. He is literally cornered. You know what I'm saying? So you either gonna have to step up or fade to the dark. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no left, there's no right. You're just stuck right there. The only way to go is forward from here. You know, so it's going to be extremely interesting going forward. Who's his next opponent and how's he going to fare against him? That's what everybody's going to be looking at. So if he didn't get anything out this, he got the attention that he was seeking for. I'm just not sure it's the kind of attention that they want right now, because now you're going to have to perform not just under the lights, but under the criticism of the whole boxing world. And this is going to be interesting. Like, comment, subscribe. Bruce Vane, I'm out.